My baby, my Valentine. The other day they making my temperature they rise. If you leave me, I'll go die. I swear, you were like the oxygen I need to survive. I'll be honest, you love me, totore me. I am so obsessed. I want to chop your wallet. Your body deep, I can't see you there. But I make I see on it. Give me long wanted.
Hello, so today I had some free time and I decided to make a video on my GR86. I've had it for 4,000 miles, so I wanted to give an update. The initial hype should have worn off by now, although I'm still hyped about this car. I'm very excited about it and still having a great time with it. So I wanted to discuss how do I feel about the car. Have I had any issues with it? And in short, I have not had any issues with it. Now, there has been an issue circulating online. It's the RTV sealant that they use. It kind of breaks off and goes into the oil pickup tube and clogs the screen there, which leads to less oil getting into the engine. Over time, that can lead to some issues, and a few people who've been tracking their car hard have had engine failures, but personally, I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, I have a 5-year warranty, and eventually I'll get someone to drop my oil pan and check the filter in the oil pickup tube to make sure that it's not too bad on my car. So hopefully I'm one of the lucky ones and nothing happens to my car, because I don't want to do anything with this car. I want to keep this car. It's been fantastic so far. I've been driving this car almost every single day. Anytime I have to go out for groceries, taking my son to daycare, which has been working out good so far. I have the front-facing child seat, which works out good in this car. If you don't have a passenger, it's perfect. You can use it on a daily basis if you just move the seat up. With a passenger, I put my wife and my son in there at the same time, and it's doable. The only thing is I have to move the seat up so my wife doesn't have as much leg room, and she's okay with that for about half an hour. She's 5'7" and no issues for about half an hour, but anything more than that, it would start to get uncomfortable, and we'd probably want to take her SUV. So in a pinch, you could definitely have a passenger and a front-facing child seat, but I wouldn't want to do it for too long. But like I said, a child alone that's in a front-facing seat, no issues. You can do it all the time. Modifications wise, I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it classy. The only other thing I'm going to do is just swap out my wheels and tires in the winters, obviously, for the snow. So I have a set of 16s with Michelin Ice X's on them. So I'll swap those out. I'm not planning on getting an exhaust or anything like that, although it would improve the sound of this car a lot. I have no plans for it right now because I want to keep it simple and classy, like I was saying. But let's go for a ride now. Handbrake, still liking the manual handbrake. A lot of cars these days have the electronic handbrakes, which is not as fun. I like having the full clicking action. So let's go. Transmission. Have I gotten used to the transmission? Is the 1 to 2 shift smooth now? Because that's one of the things about this car. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it, to make it a smooth transmission. And I would say I have. My shifts from 1 to 2 are pretty smooth now, although I will say that this transmission still is nowhere near as good as something like a Civic Type R. I would say the Miata is a step above this, and the Type R is maybe 2 steps above this transmission. But aside from that, overall, this is still a great manual transmission. One of my issues with this car, well, not really the car, is actually my area, is that there's not enough twisty roads to truly enjoy this car. To make the most use of this car, I really strongly still believe that you need to have good twisty roads. The noise levels, as you can hear, are pretty loud. I do have the windows rolled down. Most of the noise is just tire noise. And I think changing out the tires may help a bit, but overall this car is still a pretty noisy car. You do get adjusted to it, but you really notice the difference when you go from a quieter car to this, and you you realize how loud this car is compared to other cars from the road noise and the tire noise coming in. I never really put on the stereo or the audio entertainment system because I wouldn't be able to hear it, especially at speeds above 40, 50 miles an hour. Forget about it. But that's not what this car is about, right? So gets up to speed relatively quick. On the highway, you can keep this transmission as in 5th or 6th gear. You don't need to do a major downshift to catch up to cars. Acceleration is the perfect amount to just keep up or overtake cars in maybe 5th or 6th gear. If you really need a bit more passing power, you can always downshift to 5th or 3rd. Overall, in terms of the power level, I would say it's sufficient. Now, could you use a little bit more? Sure, but for this car and what it's designed for, I think the amount of power that they put in it is perfect. I did hear that they recently cracked the ECU, so you might be able to get a tune on this car. However, as I said before, I'm not interested in that. For me, for daily driving, this car has the perfect amount of power. I'm not looking to get more out of it. Rev matching and heel-toe downshifting works great. Although I do wish that the acceleration, the throttle was a little bit higher, because right now it's low compared to the brake, so that makes it slightly difficult, or just takes more time to get used to, but I'm able to do it now. I'm able to heel toe even with sandals on that I have right now. But rev matching is great in this, like drop it to 3rd, blip, and down. There is far too much traffic today for my liking. The ride is comfortable enough for your daily commute. I'm gonna roll the windows up here. There's just too much wind noise. It probably did get a little bit darker in here because I have 20% tints and 5% tints on my rear windshield. If I could do it over again, I probably would get 50% in my rear windshield. I do think 5% is a little bit dark. But as I was saying about the ride, it is compliant enough where you can daily drive it, but stiff enough where you can still corner hard and not get any body roll. Let's take this corner. I mean, the speeds that you can take corners at, even with the stock setup, is just fun. Entrance ramps to the highway are amazingly fun in this car. That's about the peak fun I can get in my area. I wish we had more mountain roads or canyon roads so we could truly enjoy this car. Let's do a rev match downshift blip. Let's go to 4th, 3rd, turn signals were also another annoyance that takes some time getting used to, but now that I'm adjusted to it and acclimated to it, I don't have any issues with it. Looks like someone got pulled over. That is why you should always follow the speed limits, folks. Oh, one minor thing I should mention is the locks. In fact, let me lock this car. For some reason, this car doesn't auto lock when you start moving, so you always have to remember to lock it. Kind of weird because most modern cars have that, but this doesn't. But now it's just sort of muscle memory. I just hit lock as soon as I start driving, so no biggie. Comparing this to other cars, there's really nothing under $50,000 or even $60,000 that I would prefer over this car. I mean, you have the Type R, especially the new gen that came out, that looks enticing. However, I think this car looks better, and I like the front engine rear wheel drive formula more than the front wheel drive of the Type R. There's the GR Corolla, which is all wheel drive. It has more power than this. It's definitely a bit more practical, so I would say if you needed practicality, I'd lean towards that. But I do think this looks a lot better than that car. The looks on this are just perfect. I think the proportions are perfect, the size is perfect. They're gonna age really well. You can also look at the muscle cars, the Mustangs, the Camaros, which are... The Camaro is a track monster, the SS1L in particular. It does cost about $20,000 more than this car, but I would still prefer this car. I just feel like the visibility in the Camaro isn't that great, and daily driving that would be just pushing it. This is a far better daily driver than the Camaro, so that was kind of ruled out. The Mustang GT is a strong consideration. However, I'm not a fan of the looks, and it's a big heavy car compared to this. This is light, nimble, shuckable, more refined, has better handling compared to the Mustang, whereas the Mustang is just power. It's a brute power. So not much else to say about that. And I still think for me, under $50,000-$60,000, this is the best enthusiast sports car, like a true sports car. Front engine, rear wheel drive, manual transmission. Those three things is what this car is all about.
I'm back in my garage, and I just want to wrap things up and say that, in summary, I'm still having a blast in this car. The initial hype is over, but I'm still loving it. The model of this car is that you'd rather drive a slower car closer to its limits rather than having a fast car and never being able to take it to its limits. And that's why this car is so fun. It's easy to drive, it's easy on your wallet, and most importantly, it's easy on the eyes. The car just looks fantastic to me, and I think it will age really well. That is it. Thanks, guys, and take care.